Welcome, everyone. Today, we'll be talking about the business environment and we'll be focusing on the internal and external factors. So, as a way of introduction, we'll be diving into a crucial topic as it concerns business professionals, especially entrepreneurs, who are seeking to understand particularly the entrepreneurial environment. Okay, so it's important that we explore both the internal and the external environments that affect how organizations operate and compete. So let's get into it. Let's get started. Business organizations operate in environments where they compete for resources, both locally and internationally. The environment is uncertain and environment is constantly changing, making it unpredictable for the organization and its management. In this video, we will be exploring the nature of the business environment and its internal aspects. So, what's the objective of today's video? By the end of this video, yeah, our expectation is that every single one should be able to explain the nature of the business environment. Everyone should be able to differentiate between internal and external business environment. We should be able to discuss, everyone should be able to discuss the internal environment of a business particularly. So, first, let's talk about the nature of a business environment. What does the nature of a business environment entail? This environment is made up of forces and conditions inside and outside the organizational boundaries, all right, that can affect how it operates. These forces present both opportunities and threats. Okay, for instance, a new technology and the global market can create opportunities, while a new competitor and economic recession can pose significant risk or threats to the business fulfilling its objective. Okay, now let's highlight some real life situation as concerning opportunities and threats as relating to the nature of the business environment. Now let's start with the opportunities. Now, concerning the opportunities that business can have, let's see new technologies, for instance. An example of this is the company called Tesla. Most of us must have heard about Tesla and electronic vehicles. The rise of electronic vehicles technology has created significant opportunities for companies like Tesla. By investing in battery technology and developing a strong brand, Tesla has positioned itself as a leader in the electronic vehicle market. This is a new technology as an opportunity for the business organization. What is the impact of this? Tesla stocks over the years, as we have observed, uh, has surged. It expanded its market presence globally. It has become a major player in the automotive industry comparatively to the other players in that industry. It is leveraging the shift towards sustainable transportation. Another example is Flutterwaves, our own Flutterwaves and digital payments. Flutterwave is a Nigerian fintech company which capitalized on the growing demand for digital payments in Africa and Nigeria in particular by developing a platform that simplifies payment for businesses and individuals across the continent. Flutterwave leveraged advancement in financial technology. So you see how they took the opportunity of what they found on ground. Now, what is the impact? What's the impact of this situation for Flutterwave? Flutterwave's innovative approach to digital payment led to rapid growth and is still leading to rapid growth as at today, attracting significant investments and expanding its services internationally. The company is now a leading player in the African fintech space, contributing to financial inclusion and economic development. Now, let's discuss a bit of on the opportunities in the global market. All right. Now, a good example in the global market beyond our own local area is Starbucks and its international expansion. We also have Dangote, which is local also, and it's a cement export. Now, let's start with Starbucks. Starbucks capitalized on the growing global demand for premium coffee by expanding into international markets, particularly in Asia. What was the impact? What is the impact of this? By tailoring its products to local taste of the locals and opening stores in key international locations, Starbucks significantly increased its revenue and market shares, establishing a strong global brand presence in those areas. What of Dangote Cement? Dangote Group, with its product Dangote Cement, which is one of Nigeria's largest conglomerate, it expanded its cement production capacity to meet the growing demand for construction materials in Africa and beyond. By tapping into global markets, the company positioned itself as a major cement exporter. What was the impact of this? The expansion into global market enabled Dangote Group to increase its market revenue and market shares, strengthening its position as a leading cement producer in Africa. This strategic move also contributed to the infrastructure development across the continent because as the company keeps expanding, infrastructure development is expanding. Now, let's talk about threats. New competitors can be threats. A good example to illustrate this is MTN Nigeria and the emerging telecoms providers. MTN Nigeria arguably is the largest telecom operator in the country. It faces increasing competition from the emerging telecom providers like Airtel, Glo, Nine Mobile, and so on and so forth. These new entrants offered competitive prices and innovative services to attract customers. Some of us may remember the per second billings in those days, which was introduced by Glo, which was a major competitor to MTN, who was giving us per minute billing. Of course, MTN reacted to it. So, what is the impact? The heightened competition forced MTN at that time to innovate and improve its services, offering to retain its customer base by switching, for example, like we talked about the per second billing, by switching to per second billing rather than sticking to per minute billing, so I can keep its customer or retain its customer base. While the company managed to maintain its market leader status, it had to invest heavily in network upgrades and customer service improvement to stay competitive. Another threat is economic recession. Economic recession is a threat to business organizations globally. A good example is the Nigerian economy and the 2016 recession, which was experienced locally and internationally at that time. In 2016, Nigeria experienced a severe economic recession caused by a sharp decline in oil prices, which significantly impacted the country's oil dependent economy. The recession led to reduced customer spending, inflation, like we're experiencing today, but we've not hit the recession yet, and widespread job losses. What was the impact? Many Nigerian businesses, particularly in the oil and gas sector, at that time faced financial difficulties and were forced to downsize or shut down. The government had to implement economic recovery strategies and including which included diversifying the economy and encouraging investors or investments in non-oil sector to mitigate the recession's impact and stabilize the economy. Now let's talk about types of business environment. The business environment is divided into two sections: the internal and external business environment. The internal business environment includes factors within the organization, while external business environment, encompasses factors outside the organization. Now, let's delve into the internal environment. The internal environment consists of forces within the organization's boundaries that affect how it operates. These include owners, the board of directors, the employees, the organization's culture, the physical work environment, and its structures. Now, let's briefly discuss these internal environmental factors. Let's start with the owners. Owners are individuals or entities with legal rights to the business. Owners can be a single individual who establishes and runs a small business, partners who jointly own businesses, individual investors who buy stocks in a corporation or other organizations. This set of people have a stake in the business and are mindful of how the business is being managed. Of course, owners are part of the internal environment. Another factor is the board of director. They are elected by shareholders. They try to oversee the management of the organization to ensure it serves their interest. Some boards are relatively passive. It simply means that they are just there. You hardly know they are there. They perform a general oversight function over the management, but they seldom get actively involved in how the company is really being run. But this trend is changing. Board of directors are part of the internal environment. Another internal environmental factor is employees and managers. Employees are crucial in the performing of the day-to-day operations to achieve the organizational goal. They are supervised by managers who coordinate resources and staff. Managers are categorized into top, middle, and first level managers, each with distinct roles. Now, the top managers are a relatively small group of executives who manage the overall organization. Some top managers are addressed as the chief executive, that is the CEO. Others are called president or vice presidents. The next set of managers are the middle managers. They are primarily responsible for the implementation or implementing the the policies and plans developed by the top managers and for supervising and coordinating the activities of lower level managers. Examples of middle managers are the operation managers, plant managers, and so on. The last set of managers we are going to be considering or talking about are the first line managers, who are sometimes called supervisors. They supervise and coordinate the activities of the employees. All right. Another internal environmental factor is the physical work environment, and it is a very important part of the internal environment. It is actually the physical environment of the organization and the work that people do therein. The physical work environment, whether it is in an urban skyscraper or a rural setting, or it's a facility like a school, a campus, or an office space, they all play a significant role. Organizational structure is also part of the internal environment. It is defined by division of labor, which allows employees to specialize in a particular area or a particular role and to occupy the designated position in pursuit of the organizational objectives. The resulting pattern of relationships between individuals and the roles constitutes what is known as organizational structure and represents the means by which the purpose and the work of the organization is carried out. This is another crucial internal factor. Now, let's touch the external environment a bit as we round up. The external business environment consists of forces and conditions outside the organization's boundaries that have the potential of affecting the way the organization operates. It is further divided into the task and the general environments. So we can say the external environment can be divided into the task environment and the general environment. Now let's take the task environment for instance. Let's start with that. The task environment, which is also known as the immediate or operational environment, it is a set of forces and conditions that originate with suppliers, distributors, customers, competitors, labor market, and financial institutions. These factors have a direct impact on the organization. Okay, let's discuss these key elements within the tax environment a bit, so you know what they are all about. Let's start with the suppliers. Suppliers provide necessary resources. Suppliers are individuals and companies that provide an organization with the input resources such as raw materials, component parts, or employees that it needs to produce goods and services. In return, the suppliers receive compensation for those goods and services. Another element in the tax environment is the distributors. Distributors help sell products. Distributors are organizations that help other organizations sell their goods and services to customers. The decisions that managers make about how to distribute products to customers can have important effects on organizational performance. If the distributors become so large and powerful that they can now control customers' access to a particular organization's goods and services, they can indeed threaten the organization by demanding that it reduces the price of its product or its goods and services in favor of the customers. That is one of it. Another element of the tax environment is the customers. Customers purchase goods and services basically. All right. A customer may be an individual, an institution such as a school, a hospital, or other organizations or government agencies. Customers are important to all organizations. The ability to identify and meet customer need is the main reason for the survival and prosperity of an organization. Therefore, customers are often regarded as the most crucial stakeholder group, since if a company fails to attract them to buy its products, it cannot stay in business. Another element of the tax environment is the competitors. Competitors vie for the same customer base as an organization. So competitors are organizations that produce similar goods and services to an organization. In other words, competitors are organizations that compete for the same customers in a particular business space. For example, the computer manufacturer called Dell's Computers. Dell's competitors include other PC manufacturers such as Apple, HP, Lenovo, Toshiba, and so on and so forth. So, by and large, what are we talking about? The task environment is the immediate constituency of a business that is in a reciprocal relationship with the business. The managers should identify these groups and how their actions and decisions impact on business and vice versa. Competition is one of the most significant threats leading to the price wars and reduced profits that may be experienced. It includes current rivals and potential new entrants to the business space, which is influenced by barriers to entry into that business space. In summary, the task environment includes suppliers, customers, distributors, competitors, and so on, all of which directly affects a firm's operation. Understanding these elements help business develop strategies to manage them effectively. If you have learned from these videos, click the notification button. Please give it a thumbs up so that others can see it or will see it. Always remember to subscribe if you have not done so. Until next time, keep learning.